Hi guys, and welcome back to Fit with T. So I hope you guys are good. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do the inverted row and showing you progressions for the inverted row. So let's get into it. So the inverted row is a horizontal pull exercise. If you haven't checked out my video about the 7 functional movement pattern, then I encourage you to check that video out. In that video I talk about the 7 functional movement patterns that you want to incorporate into your strength training. And when it comes to upper body, you're looking at push movement and pull movement, both horizontal and vertical. So check that out. I've also got a blog about it, so check it out in the description box below if you're interested. But the supine row, also called the inverted row, is an effective pull exercise that works on your back, it works on your grip strength, it works on your biceps, it even works on your glutes and your hamstrings because of the position that you have to hold yourself up in a reverse plank almost. So it works on your posterior chain as well to help stabilize you as you're going through the movement. So if you're someone who does a lot of chest exercises, a lot of push movements, so whether that's press ups, whether that's chest press using a machine, or if you do a lot of bench pressing, whether that's with dumbbells or barbell, this is an effective pull exercise to balance you out. You don't want to just be strong on your front side, you also want to be strong in your back as well. And so the inverted row, it's a really effective pull exercise. It's also really effective if you're trying to work up to that pull up. The pull up is a vertical pull exercise, and so if you're trying to work up to that full pull up, work up to the pull up, then starting with an inverted row is a good place to help you as a progressive step, but it's also a fantastic exercise to do by itself as well. So how do you perform the inverted row? So you're going to start off by using a Smith machine, which is the one where the bar doesn't come out of the machine. If you have one of those at your gym, then you can use that. If you don't have one of those, then what you can do is set up a bar on the rack. So the lower the bar is in this exercise, the more difficult it's going to be. So you want to measure the bar at a place where you're going to start. So I will talk about progression in this video as well. Progressions to get to the full supine row and how to make it more difficult as well. So keep watching to the end of this video if you're interested in that. But when you're starting off, when you're trying to set it up, what you're going to do is you're going to have an overhand grip on the bar. So you're going to lie underneath it. Essentially you're doing a reverse plank where your hands are holding onto the bar and you're making a plank position with your body in the opposite upside down position. Okay, so your heels are going to be against the floor, your hands are going to be on the bar, nice straight arms, and what you're going to do is you're going to bend your elbows, so pull your chest all the way up to the bar, up to your chest touching the bar, and then lower yourself back down again. So you want to make sure that your body stays in a nice straight line throughout the whole movement, contracting your core, contracting your glutes and your hamstring, keeping everything in a nice straight line all the way through that motion, keeping your spine nice in the line, pulling yourself up to the bar, your chest up to the bar, and then lowering yourself back down again. I'm going to talk about some progressions for the inverted row. So like I said, the lower the bar is, the more difficult this exercise is going to be. Let's say you find it quite difficult to perform the full row from the almost horizontal position, okay, because your feet are on the floor, your body is at a slight angle. So let's say you'll find it difficult from performing at the what we call the regular inverted row. What are some progressions before you get to that point? You can actually raise the bar up higher, and by starting at a higher position, having your body at a steeper angle, having your body at a bigger angle, if you think about your feet to the floor, you have a bigger angle, then it actually makes it a bit easier for you. It's the same thing when you think about when you're progressive for press up. Doing a press up against the wall is less difficult than doing a press up from the floor because the angle is different. So the same with the inverted row. By starting at a higher angle, you actually can get stronger at this movement, still keeping your body in a nice straight line, contracting your core, bring your chest all the way to the bar. But you can start at a higher angle, and then as you're finding it yourself getting stronger and you're finding the exercise a bit more easier, then you can begin to lower the bar till you do get to that horizontal position. So essentially we can start off with a high angle supine row, and then after you tried the high angle supine row, and like I said, you've got stronger and you're finding it easier, you can move on to the low angle supine row, which I will call the regular inverted row, which is what I started with in this video. So here are some ways that you can make this exercise a bit more difficult. The first way is by your feet angle, so changing the position of your feet. The more horizontal your body is, the higher angle your feet are at, the more difficult it's going to be. So by placing your feet onto a box, onto a step, onto some weight stacked, anything to elevate your feet will make this exercise immediately more difficult, because like I said, you're decreasing the angle and almost moving to horizontal down to the negative angle, I want to say. So the lower your body is, the harder it's going to be. So by changing your feet angle is one way to make this exercise more difficult. Another way to make it more difficult is by placing a weight onto your chest or onto your body. So by adding weight, so you can do this with your feet elevated if that's where you want to go, or you can do it with your feet still on the floor, adding weight onto you and going through that motion with the weight on you. That makes it more difficult because you're now increasing the amount of weight that you're actually pulling up. So adding weight is another way to make this exercise more difficult. And so other variations of this exercise, so I've spoken about doing it with a bar, with either a Smith machine or with a barbell on a rack, but you can also do this exercise using TRX or a suspension trainer. So this actually makes the exercise more difficult as well because you have less stability. Because it isn't as stable, it adds more of that stability element into it for you as well. So that's another way to progress this exercise. You can use a TRX suspension trainer to actually make it more difficult. Again, you can start at a high angle, or you can go from a low angle. You can add weight to your body, you can elevate your feet. So another way that you can progress this exercise, or other variations for this exercise, include doing single arm inverted row. So that's performing it with one arm, whether you're doing that with a barbell or with a suspension trainer. So I've spoken about elevating your feet, but you can also change the surface on which your feet are on. So whether that's moving from a stable surface to the floor to a Bosu ball, which makes it a bit more, makes the surface a little bit more unstable. So again, you're adding that stability element. Or you can go from double feet to single leg feet, which will put a bit more strain onto your hamstring, onto your glutes as well. That's another way to make it a bit more difficult, and almost change the stimulus as well. That's another way to make it a bit more difficult too. A final way, or another way that you can make it more difficult or add variation to it, is to change the tempo of your movement. So pulling yourself up to the bar, pausing, and then lowering yourself back down again. So changing the tempo can change the stimulus, make it more difficult. Going for faster movement, so trying to bang out quick reps, or like I said, slowing it down, holding, pausing in the isometric position, and then lowering yourself back down again. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comment section below which of these variations or progressions are you going to try. Are you going to do the inverted row? Are you going to add it to your workout program? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, guys, make sure to give it a big thumbs up to help me accelerate my channel. And if you are enjoying the content I'm making here, guys, please check out my Patreon, where you can support me for a small amount monthly, which just allows me to keep creating content like this. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe now and make sure to hit that bell, and I'll see you guys next Friday.